It's a scene that is a common one across the United States. Saturday night at a dance club. Fast music, strobe lights, dancing, and high energy. Partygoers are laughing, mingling, and sometimes taking drugs that could be deadly. These drugs, commonly called club drugs, are the focus of this SubstanceEducation.com presentation. For this course, you will listen to the brief audio presentation on club drugs, read an information fact sheet on club drugs and MDMA, and then you'll be ready to take the quiz and collect your certificate of completion. So let's get started. What are club drugs? What are the effects on the user? This presentation will answer those questions and also provide some factual information about these drugs. The term club drug refers to a variety of different drugs that include, but are not limited to, MDMA, or ecstasy, ketamine, sometimes called Special K, and gamma-hydroxybutyrate, or GHB. Club drugs are commonly used at raves, dance parties, and concerts where the social and energetic environment fosters its use. It is estimated that at events like this, around 80% of those in attendance are using multiple drugs, such as the ones that are discussed here in this presentation. Let's take a look at each of these drugs and examine them individually. The German business Barrick & Company patented MDMA, or what is commonly called ecstasy, back in 1914. It was originally thought to be a good appetite suppressant, but that idea was later abandoned by researchers. In the 1960s and 70s, mental health professionals used it in conjunction with counseling because of its side effects of making people feel closer to each other. In the early 1980s, the drug's popularity grew at parties and dances. In 1985, ecstasy became illegal in the United States. Today, the drug is typically imported into the country and distributed by crime networks. Ecstasy is typically taken in pill form. It is considered to be illegal in the United States and has no quality control. Because of this, the user is taking a serious risk in consuming this drug. Ecstasy can typically be felt about 20 minutes after taking it. It starts to wear off in a little over an hour. A hallmark side effect of ecstasy is a desire to bond with other people. The drug dealer who originally coined the term ecstasy initially wanted to call it empathy because of the effect of making people want to bond with others. But he feared that no one would understand that term. Other subjective side effects include increased self-esteem and feelings of happiness. And after a period of time after taking it, the user may also feel confused, paranoid, and depressed. The typical user of ecstasy is a little different from the user of other drugs. the user of ecstasy usually takes other drugs along with it. When it is used by the user alone, the user typically ingests 2 tablets, or the equivalent of about 100 to 140 milligrams. Unlike other drugs, most users take ecstasy only once a week. Because of the way the drug interacts with the brain, increased doses do not give the high or euphoria that the user is seeking. Because of this effect, the drug is taken less frequently. Continued use without a delay in taking the drug will increase negative, unpleasant side effects such as teeth grinding and restlessness. So what are the side effects of taking ecstasy? Ecstasy inhibits the body's natural ability to regulate temperature. This in turn causes dehydration, which in turn can cause problems such as delirium or disorientation. Because the drug is taken in environments where the user is likely to sweat, this further increases the chance of experiencing some health-related problems due to the ingestion of ecstasy. On the other hand, people may drink too much water to compensate for dehydration. This could lead to death or hospitalization, and other side effects include teeth grinding, jaw clenching, anxiety, panic attacks, vomiting, and insomnia. Images from brain scans confirm that ecstasy is not a harmless drug. This drug seems to have a negative effect on a neuron that releases serotonin. Brain scans show that ecstasy users lose normal serotonin sites in the brain. Serotonin is an important chemical that helps us with memory, mood, and sleep. These scans also show the drug appears to damage the blood flow to the brain. Another drug that is classified as a club drug is called ketamine. In the 1960s, ketamine was produced as an anesthetic that was to be used in humans. Because the drug caused violence and psychosis after administration, it was taken off the market for this purpose. Today, it is legally manufactured for veterinarians for use as an anesthetic. In the United States, the distribution of ketamine is held tightly, causing an increase in illegal distribution of the drug from foreign countries. Also, as it is difficult to manufacture, it is sometimes diverted to the streets from veterinarian suppliers. In recent years, doctors have started using ketamine to help manage depression. Research has been promising and may offer hope to millions of people suffering with depression, for which other treatments have not been effective. Ketamine is most commonly inhaled as a gray powder and can be combined with other drugs like marijuana for smoking. Ketamine can be felt for about 1 to 3 hours, with higher doses producing more intense effects. Users tend to develop a tolerance for the drug meaning it progressively takes more and more of the drug to get a desired high effect. Subjective side effects of the drug vary according to the dose, but the users typically experience a feeling of surrealness, euphoria, visual hallucinations, social isolation, and a feeling of being outside of one's body. Ketamine is considered to be an addictive drug that has many harmful and sometimes deadly side effects. Potential side effects include learning problems, difficulty concentrating, and forgetfulness. Other more severe effects include mood disruption like depression, breathing problems, elevated blood pressure, and unconsciousness. Another common club drug is called gamma-hydroxybutyrate, or GHB. A small amount of GHB occurs naturally in the brain and helps with processes such as our sleep cycle and body temperature. GHB as a drug was created in the 1970s as a pre-anesthetic, but it was decided that its usefulness was limited. In the 1980s, the drug was largely used by bodybuilders who were looking for alternatives to anabolic steroids. In 2000, it was banned by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and was added as a Schedule I drug, meaning it had a high rate of being abused by the general public. After this ban, a number of people concocted different ways of creating the drug. This led to massive recipes that were readily available on the internet. Today, GHB is manufactured legally, which has resulted in some creative ways to disguise and distribute the drug. Among other things, it has uncommonly and illegally sold for cures for baldness, sleeplessness, depression, and vision loss. GHB is in either liquid or powder form. It is typically mixed with alcohol or some other beverage. The effect of the drug can begin in as little as 15 minutes and last as long as 6 hours. The subjective effects of GHB are similar to alcohol. These include feeling calm, disinhibition that can lead to enhanced sexual experiences, and relaxation and tranquility. GHB interacts with drugs and alcohol, creating an intensified effect on the body. Some of the typical side effects of GHB are vomiting, decreased coordination, unconsciousness or coma, persistent vegetative state, or death. When used long-term, it is an addictive drug that creates withdrawal symptoms such as anxiety, feelings of doom, shakiness, and sweating. GHB and ketamine are considered to be date rape drugs. These drugs are able to be slipped into drinks without a change in taste or color to the drink. Because memory impairment accompanies use of the drug, victims typically don't recognize what happened to them until many hours later after the incident. And because of induced changes in perception, victims of date rape drugs are considered not to be reliable by law enforcement professionals. If you would like to learn more about how to protect yourself from date rape drugs, please visit the websites listed here on the screen. You have completed the audio presentation part of this course. Please return to the website to read the article, Club Drugs.